A Saudi Arabian court has sentenced 5 people to death and 3 more to prison in the 2018 assassination of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi. But international critics are calling the entire investigation and the secretive trial a sham.
Saudi Arabia's public prosecutor making the announcement Monday. Shalan al-Shalan says the investigation showed the killing was not premeditated and it happened at the spur of the moment. 3 others were found not guilty. The entire trial being held behind closed doors in Riyadh. It's been 14 months since Khashoggi walked into the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, Turkey, never to be seen again. He'd gone there to get papers for his upcoming wedding. Instead, he was murdered. His body reportedly dismembered, then removed from the consulate. His remains have still not been found. Khashoggi was a resident of the United States and a critic of Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the kingdom's de facto ruler. His death caused a global uproar, tarnishing the Crown Prince's image. The CIA and some Western governments have stated they believe Prince Mohammed ordered the killing, but Saudi officials insist he had no role. In June, a United Nations rights investigator called for an international criminal investigation of the Crown Prince and other senior Saudi officials, saying the world has not done enough to see justice done for the crime.
By failing to hold Saudi Arabia to account, by failing to even attempt to punish Saudi Arabia for its killing of Mr. Jamal Khashoggi, the international community is sending just this message, that state with sufficient power can get away with murdering a journalist.
Just days later, the Crown Prince and U.S. President Donald Trump chatted during a photo op with world leaders gathered for the G20 summit in Osaka, Japan.
A friend of mine, a man who has really done things in the last 5 years in terms of opening up Saudi Arabia.
Trump's close relationship with the Saudi government has been scrutinized, but the president also says he was extremely angry and unhappy about Khashoggi's murder.
Do you agree that it is despicable for a government to kill a journalist in that fashion?
Yes, I do. I think it's horrible. Or anybody else, by the way.
Yeah.
But I think it's horrible.
The names of those found guilty in the journalist's murder have not been released. The verdicts can still be appealed.
Now, the closed trial and today's convictions are being dismissed outright by global human rights group Amnesty International, calling the verdict a whitewash. They say the verdict fails to address the Saudi authorities' involvement in this devastating crime or clarify the location of Jamal Khashoggi's remains. Given the lack of transparency from the Saudi authorities and in the absence of an independent judiciary, only an international, independent and impartial investigation can serve justice for Jamal Khashoggi.